Good afternoon, Toronto. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Air Candy, Diva D, Koolbreeze interview. You know, I had the interview with her a couple months ago.
Yes.
We had a great time. And now it's the DVD's turn to sit in the big chair and get a taste of the Koolbreeze. But good afternoon, Toronto. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Erdine Hope, aka Diva D of Air Candy Show, which airs every Friday from 3 to 5. And my name is Curtis Anthony. Welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. Our friendship goes back 26 years. I'm honored and I'm humbled by the experience with such an iconic figure, local to global. Welcome, Diva, to the Koolbreeze Experience show.
Well, thank you, Curtis.
Yeah.
Koolbreeze. What an introduction. I don't know what the questions are going to be like, but I think you're hitting me off at the pass here.
Well, we're going to talk about the insights and the analysis of what the music is all about, and also explore its depth. Yeah, too close to yeah. What's a normal day for you like, outside of music?
Outside of music? Well, music is always part of me. I have to check in with it each and every day.
Right.
But I'm a community and mental health worker.
Okay.
And it's quite a hectic job. It's fulfilling when you can really help someone, but we're getting a lot of complex types of individuals, and so it keeps you on your toes, as well as to the computer to find out about medications and behaviors and classifications of mental illness and addiction. So keeps me busy.
That's good. Busy is good. Is good. You know, we always get a kick about our birthdays. We were born the same day, March 25th, 2 years apart.
Right.
But tell us.
Never found out that for almost a few years later. We knew that we had so many similarities.
Right.
And
right.
Then one day, I remember I was working at Sam's, and you said, I'm going to be celebrating my birthday. I got to get some music for my birthday. And I said, I'm going to be celebrating my birthday, and found out that we were born the same day. It was just like a mind blow.
Oh, yeah. You know, the Aries babies, they come with fire.
Yes,
fire power. They breathe the fire like the dragon. And there's a few musicians were born that came to Radio Regent. Quincy Bullen, the bass player.
Rich Brown.
Rich Brown, Sonia Colomore
is born on the same day.
Yeah, the same day. And there's a few more Aries that came to, so we get a kick out about that. But tell us about some of your musical experiences growing up.
Musical experiences growing up. Well, my parents, it's actually my aunt, my great aunt, and my grandmother that discovered that I had this passion for music. And I think that my first experience with music was when the song "The Twist" came out by Chubby Checker. I was just, and I could dance really well too.
Right.
So my aunt took me to I think it was the Gladstone or the Brunswick Hotel, because he was playing there, and she hid me underneath this big umbrella coat. My feet were in her rain boots, and she walked in with me, and my head stuck out of her coat, and they started. He did the twist, and I just leapt out of her coat and went into the aisles, and someone carried me up on the stage, and I was twisting with him.
Right. And
from then it was just a love for music. I used to get so much licks for buying music magazines and 45s at a young age. I had by 8 I had a band radio that I could listen to music all over the world. And my collection started pretty early. It was the Twist, and then I think it was went to a garden party, and then I discovered that there's black music. My aunt had 72 RPMs. This whole collection. It was Billie Holiday and Nat King Cole and Elvis Presley. I like the singing, but for me, the beat got me. You know, I was drawn to a beat.
Right.
And then Motown came out, and I was blown away. I thought, hey, black music, black singers, black dancers. Oh, wow. Yeah. I met a lot of artists growing up, too.
Right.
Ella Fitzgerald when I was 12. We had Kentucky Fried Chicken at the Royal York
Wow.
Hotel. She picked me up out of the crowd. She says, "Oh, you look like my grandbaby." And I was just mesmerized. I was in this group called the Inner City Children, and black kids got to experience culture and music. And I was fortunate enough to see Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan.
Big time players and
Big,
guests.
big. And so as a young child, I kind of gravitated around the city. I started working when I was 12, so I had those few little ducats to maneuver across the city or walk.
Right.
But back then you did a lot more walking.
Right.
I grew up downtown and just would gravitate wherever I could see an artist. I remember the Le Coq D'Or. It was a rehearsal space where HMV resided there for many years. I saw Cameo. They were the players when I saw them, and many artists.
Right.
Many.
Right. What sparked you to get into radio broadcast?
That was by accident, actually. Norman Orlis Richmond needed someone to speak on his show, and he said, "Oh, you have a beautiful voice. You should do radio." He says, "You're so calm and this and that," and I was all about the music. When I got in there, I was just, I gotta play music, and I don't see myself as a DJ. I just like how music flows,
Right.
the message of the music,
Right,
the
right.
beat of music.
Right on. Tell the fans about your tenure at CKLN 88.1 FM Ryerson Radio.
Yeah, I had a show called Motor Booty Affair.
Whoa, sound like Parliament Funkadelic
Well,
album.
you know, I was bringing the funk, and I'm a big Prince fan, so I got to play a lot of Prince. And I also did a show called Red Light Special with now Gemini on 98.7, and I played the music, and they comment on some of the slow jams. It was a slow jam show, and my tenure there was for about 10 years, and then I went on to be on the board because I had my daughter, but I had a love for music, you know, something that we share, Koolbreeze, and it's a progression.
Right.
You know, I don't know if I've reached my climax with all the CDs and my 10,000 pieces. It's not all about funk, but you know, it's
a
growing. It's a
of everything.
mixture, and it's growing. You know,
Beautiful. So, tell us about your contributions to the community, being on the board of directors at Regent Park Focus, contributions to the radio station, and serving the community.
Wow, that's a big one, Breeze. I've been volunteering in the community, especially in Regent Park, for probably about 30 years.
Nice.
Different organizations, different causes, different trends of initiatives, be it mental health, addiction, homelessness, marginalization. And I grew up pretty much not too far from here, so it's like home. And so when I started we were on the board for CKLN, and I transitioned over to Regent Park Focus and got a little bit of a show happening, and I called it ear candy because music is like that, you know.
Yes.
It's so satisfying, it's so sweet to me, you know. And then I started volunteering with the youth, Diva Girls, and the executive director asked me to be on the board to represent the programmers, and now I'm vice chair of the board.
Okay, that's wonderful. We can get some representation, and we can get some things done.
Yes.
Yes. You know, we gotta touch these bases. Independent artists in Toronto, lack of representation, great music, covering artists on the field. Has Radio Regent fulfilled its job as promised to the artists and fans? What's your view?
Wow, that's a big question because I think that we're learning to do that, and I think you opened the floodgates so that yourself and Paul Corby, and
Thank you.
Timbuktu. I'd like to see that we have more access and resources that we can promote and enhance the airways and Radio Regent presence in the community as programmers, and we need to do that because it's almost our responsibility. Because I was talking to a few artists over the phone or on internet, and they're not getting their due justice. Like, say someone like Kooljack, who's got this groove, like it's a fantastic groove. Where is he going to be placed? Is it pop music, smooth jazz, a little R&B? And I think over the years, working in the music industry, I found that classification was very important, and it hasn't met some of the artists that we have there. If it's reggae, it's just plain reggae, but there's some reggae that's conscious reggae. There's reggae that's universal or international in terms of how it's played. There's the dance hall and the dub plate, and it branches out. But when it comes to like funk or R&B or jazz, it can be misconstrued and just kind of put somewhere because they want to promote the artist, but it doesn't do the artist justice because it doesn't reach the people that it might want to reach. We're fortunate that we can enhance and highlight artists in the way that we appreciate it. Say Jerome Tucker, he's a fantastic blues player, but I almost see his persona as like a jazz blues, funky, so I just say blues bass player, or say Keisha Wint, who's like a diva. She has a presence like, say, Whitney Houston. People might term her as pop, but I see her classified as adult contemporary, just so she can fit into a more mainstream category. And like Kooljack, like
they're world class.
Then we have Crown Heights Affair. Their new tracks are a different complement to some of their earlier stuff, which was more funky and horns, but that was the era also. The
groove.
That was the era also, and they came out with Mary Mary and Treasure the Love. And as programmers, I follow you around like a GPS, mapping out my own distinction and my own journey. And I have a little blog. I haven't actively gone about it. I'm just sometimes blown away at the talent, and I want to be responsible in which way I showcase it, because as a programmer we have a responsibility, not only because we like the music, to enhance the communication out to the world, who these artists are, and I hope we can do some justice, break some doors down for some people, because seeing them perform, like Eddie Bullen, seeing him perform on that boat cruise,
incredible.
I'm saying, like, boat cruise, bro, you need to be, and he does do some showcase high profile shows, but it'd be nice to see him and David Rudder, another one we've seen live,
phenomenal,
and it's more community based. I'd like to see it highlighted on a little more avant-garde, like we would go and pay money to see Earth, Wind and Fire or Janet Jackson. Those are two concerts we saw this year. I'd like to see people coming to see the people that we love and really respect.
Absolutely, I'm with you on that. Where do you see yourself at broadcast when it's all said and done? Would you get into a TV showcasing independent artists and so on?
Yeah, I think, and I'd love to work with you as well, because I think the complement of the two energies fire it up. At home, I'm practicing at home a little bit more, bringing my broadcast style to the airwaves. And but the music, it's part of me. Like sometimes I just feel it, and I want to play it.
Oh yeah, and I gotta tell you though, when I just started my show almost 2 years ago, I think subliminally you put some pressure on me when I just started my show. My feet was barely wet, and you go, Breeze, you're gonna blow up, Breeze, and I keep hearing this in my ears, and I barely have my foot in my door, and I think I put so much pressure on myself to move the craft, the music, and the interviews, and the whole circle of what I do. I was just gonna come in and flow and just grow slowly, and Breeze, you're gonna blow up, and I go, what the heck is Diva talking about?
Well, Breeze, I'd like to really highlight on that, because knowing you for as long as I have, I mean, I started asking you to come on radio since I've been on CKLN. And it wasn't just that you knew music. I saw a passion unlike my own.
Right.
And you've taught me so much. Like, you've opened gateways for me to educate myself a little bit more than just going to a club and watching artists perform, and you might read a bio or something like that. It comes natural for you to get this information, and I knew you would blow up because you were passionate about music, but I knew you would be passionate about sharing your knowledge, wisdom, charisma, and musicality to the world, and you blended it so well. I'm almost not jealous. I'm just saying, like, I just knew in my heart of hearts years ago that it was there. And life circumstance can, hinder you a little bit and pull you back. And I was patient, but anytime I got an opportunity to say, hey, Breeze, come join me, and you did. And when you did come to my shows, I'd say, you thought we were doing it together. I go, no, these 2 hours are yours. And it didn't take away from my show. I was trying to be there for a friend that I really, really, truly believed in.
Yeah, thank you. Tell me, Diva, when you got news of the Koolbreeze, you heard that the Koolbreeze was coming to Radio Region, what was your view? Tell me how.
Well, I think I was almost instrumental in making that happen, because I was being on the board, and I was watching the grid, and I do Fridays, and I was always thinking about Saturdays, and I knew of your lifestyle. I said, Breeze, there's Norman Ortis Richmond left for a few months, and I said, Breeze, that's the most opportune. People are just waking up, and you're somebody that you should wake up with. And so I called him and I said, get your proposal next day, bring it down when I have my show. I think the executive director will be there. Just pop it to him. Don't be anything fancy, because you're so articulate and precise and organized, and I'm so the opposite. I said, try it out. Just try it out. Like, it can't hurt. When you were on your show, you didn't find your voice, but I knew you had a voice in there, because you would when we would talk on the phone or play music or hang out, you had a commentary, and I thought, this guy, he's joking, like, he's driving me crazy. What do I gotta do, knock him out and bring him down there? Or
pretty much.
Yeah. And you came, but sometimes it has to be your own volition too, and that's
right.
when I saw the passion come alive in you, because you were doing it pretty much at home, but you were silenced. And like I said, life circumstances cannot make us believe in ourselves or make us procrastinate or pull back a bit, and sometimes, like that little bird in the nest, and they're looking down at the ground, you got to give them a little push.
Yes.
We're that for each other. So that was so cool. When I said, "You're starting the next day," I've never seen that happen in all the 7 years I've been here at Radio Region. Like, how'd you do that? Like, really, Breeze, how did you do that? You know, and the ED liked him right away, and that passion shone through. Like, I seen the smile, I saw the conviction, and one thing I can say about Breeze is, I love him so much, but his integrity. You don't find people like that, and I think that's why I'm proud to be your friend and sister, and you know, one of your biggest fans.
Thank you so much. Diva D, where do you want to see Radio Regent reach in the world of radio broadcasting?
Well, there's so much internet radio stations, and sometimes I, you know, browse around to see what people, not what people are doing, how it's translated.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see Radio Region at the forefront of highlighting the independent artists and bringing a voice to our community, whether it be folk, rock, pop, and the arts. Like, we have so much talent here, and people are going to the States. Why can't we build a community here?
I'm with you on that.
I followed you around like a little guppy this year, just, you know, swimming in the fishbowl, just kind of watching you. I got my camera now and going to the next step to produce and put my videos together. But it's the ear and the eye. Like, you use so many senses. Project it to the world, you know. Social media, we're learning, you know. It's as a stepping stone, and I hope that we can do that. Like, someone will see one of our videos or listen to one of our shows and say, "I like that song," and we can say, we know that artist, or have a communication, and we'll contact them and let you, and maybe reach different heights for you know, and one thing I gotta say about the artists that we showcase here at Radio Region, a lot of the independent artists, is the production is done so well.
Yes.
You know, that especially the artists that are on the Thunderdome's label, like Eddie Bullen he is phenomenal producer.
Yes, he is.
Phenomenal.
He is. Multi
like yourself, you know, the producer, the DJ, gotta make the video producer, and I see you, you know, create your own little TV niche, and be proud, Breeze, because there's probably 10 young people that have a dream or ear or eyes or the heart we have for music, and you might inspire them to and get an acknowledgement from that.
Well, I had a young lady just started a couple of months ago. I met her at the radio station, Pallavi Jane. She's got a show called Stories of Pal. And I had give her some tips on interviewing. She was just 2 weeks into her show, and I enlightened her and showed her some stuff on into quality and the body language and so on. And she says, "I want to be like Koolbreeze." I said, "Girl," I said to myself, "You don't know what you're getting into." But I like this spirit and the energy, and I'm here to guide you. And she's so, in fact, that made me feel really good. She calls me and says, "Well, I need a tip on this and that." And that, you know, because when her show started, there's nobody before and after to guide her in the, and that made me really feel.
And to be fair, that's how we all started. You know, it didn't come with a manual.
No.
And you know, you just have a love and passion for music, and it's an ongoing progress. It's like raising your children. Like, I have 2. I'm a single mom, and sometimes that can be difficult. And you know,
what do you find to be the most challenging aspects of broadcasting your show, the Air Candy Show, on Fridays?
The most challenging thing, making sure that I have correct information, and sometimes that's difficult for me, because sometimes when I play the music, it comes from my spirit. Like, I'll archive 40 songs, and as the music plays, I find myself tripping into folders and stuff and saying like and this would sound better if I played this.
Right.
But then you kind of miss, or
you're not feeling the vibe at that time.
Yeah, and for me, I work in the community, so it's getting here and preparing. Sometimes the timeline is so short to do my show, and I start very anxious.
Yes, so
I have high anxiety, and
you come with that nervous energy
Yes.
and all hyped up.
all hyped
For
up.
the job, yeah. So it doesn't have that smooth flow.
Mm-mm.
When I come in on a Saturday morning, I'm off work and I'm.
That's why I'm always here.
It's a form of detox, so you just
yes,
get into a groove to make you move. Now, what advice would you give to young programmers coming on the scene?
Young programmers coming on the scene. Well, we tell all artists to believe in yourself. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. Have a plan. You
Yes.
know, what type of audience you want to reach. How do you want to reach your audience? Know your music, and it doesn't have to be selective like just R&B. It doesn't have to be, but there's some people that just follow hip hop and so creative in how they produce it
Right.
and put it out there.
Right. If you had to do it all over again, Diva, with the radio broadcast, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I'd like to know more about audio and video producing and that kind of sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be more skilled at it because I get all these programs and sometimes it's intimidating.
Yes.
And
Figure
I want to
things.
be precise, and so I want to get it right.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning, and it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know how to tap into the market more
Mm-hmm.
and communicate. I mean, phoning people, cold calling people, and doing cold interviews where you don't know much is still key.
Yes.
But I'd still like to know of a way that we could market and help artists get out there more too.
Good. For those of you who just tuning into the broadcast, Diva D is here with the Koolbreeze Experience. We're getting down to the funky sound of that interview. Now, with the transformation with radio network broadcasts and ever-changing dynamic, what would you keep from the old school?
What would I keep from the old
School of broadcast.
Old school of broadcast?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a difficult question because it was more commercialized
Right.
back in the day
Mhm.
and competitive, which it is still, but that's a tough question because radio has advanced so much over the years, and I'd like to think that we take it serious like other
Mediums.
broadcasters. I'd like to think that we could put up playlists but we have a harder part as programmers because the venues, the mediums of music have changed so drastically. It's so trend based. Like you have to be like I'm on the internet like 2, 3, 4 times a week, still listening to old school stuff that are artists that I haven't heard before or have access or produced by or playing a different instrument or whatever. And the mediums has changed because when I remember going into record stores and my mom sent me to the store to buy something and I'd come back 2, 3 hours later and forgot the bread. But you get caught up by listening to 45s albums
easy
and
in those days.
yeah.
Diva,
And radio had a lot to do with that.
right. Do you see any parallel between FM and internet and community radio?
Well, internet radio and community radio, I see as a mainstream platform, as well as corporate radio. The thing I like about internet radio, the creative level expounds me. Like sometimes I listen to, just tuning it. Like before, I used to listen to it more on the computer. As
Right.
now you have a cell phone, you can, and
Easy
I
access.
was inundated
Right.
with the amount of internet radio. Right now, I like that the freedom that it allows people with a dream.
Yes.
I hope they don't start to be selective in corporate with internet radio like they do
They'll just-
corporate radio.
It destroys music.
It will destroy
Yes.
it because where are people going to get a chance to listen and educate themselves on other types of music?
Because I was listening to a radio station in the FM band, which I like very much, and they were raising funds, and they keep pressing, we got to get that money
Yeah.
in, or else we're gonna get locked into that
I was
corporate
going to
mainstream.
come into the corporate stuff just now, and sometimes we know that corporate radio needs that money and donorship to survive. Same with internet radio, but the aggression for internet radios is not as much as the AM FM dial, and sometimes that takes away from your listenership because it is so aggressive now,
Right.
and you want to participate, you want to donate, you want to feel like you're part of that community, but it shouldn't just be about money.
True.
And when they're doing this, what really upsets me is that they don't highlight or showcase any artists. It's about the radio station. And mind you, they may play Kojak, they may play Eddie Bullen, they may play Quincy Bullen, they may play Rich Brown, Brown Man Alley. Why not have a medium where they can be highlighted as well?
Right. That's great. Are you happy with what the other networks projected to the Caribbean people? Yeah, as was
For me,
promised.
for me, it's like blurred lines. It's a form of segregation and competition because we're the Caribbean,
Right.
and
Excuse me.
Trinidad has some of the most best soca artists. Barbados, Grenada, and the only time that they're even highlighted is when Caravana is around. It should be all the year round because there's parang, there's all kinds of facets, even reggae, facets of that culture and music.
Yeah.
Because it's a culture and a lifestyle for most of our communities.
Right. True. Let the fans know about some of the great concerts you've seen in the city: Maple Leaf Gardens, the Forum, CNE Stadium, and the ACC. Because I know you know music history.
Wow. Now, Breeze, we could be here for 2 hours.
That's okay. Lay a few things out there.
Okay,
For
I
the
think
youngins.
the first concert I seen was Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. I didn't get to see my whole life. I wanted to see the Jacksons. I actually stood outside the CNE and heard them perform, but I didn't actually get to go in. Roy Ayers hung out.
Wow.
Met Roy Ayers, hung out with Erykah Badu, hung out with Prince. That was one of the best shows. I think the best concert I ever went to was Bob Marley at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was so unifying because everybody was not only singing to his music, it was like a big family in a big space.
Wow.
Tell
Tell us, the fans, about how you snuck in back doors with Earth, Wind and Fire with Verdine, like.
Oh, like I had a knack for for being somebody. And I knew I would do radio or something. You know, I always wanted to be a star. So I remember at an early age, you know, not always did you have the money. And I would circle those back doors. I remember Dion Wart was playing at the OQ Center, and I came to the back door, and they said, "Are you Miss Warwick's cousin?" I actually came to buy Gladys Knight tickets, but I heard she was there.
Yeah.
And I said yes. And no joke, our hair was cut and dyed the same way. And they brought me in and sat me in the front center stage of her performing. And she kept looking at the seat while performing, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be busted. I'm going to jail. I'm going to get licks from here to town and back. And at the end of the show, they brought me backstage, and they said, oh, your cousin's here. And she just looked at me, and she said, and her voice is as deep as mine. And she said, hello.
Yeah.
Who are you? Erdine Hope. And she says, oh, hi. And so we just started chatting and sat down. And but I remember I wanted to meet Philip Bailey at the Earth, Wind and Fire concert they were playing at
Maple Gardens?
No, they were playing at Wonderland or whatever it is.
Okay.
And the concert finished, and I dashed down to the security area, and I just pulled out my driver's license. I said, excuse me, can you tell Verdine that Erdine is here? His mama and my mama, they grew up back there in the States there. And the guy's looking at me, and I'm walking through, and he goes, miss. And I said, Erdine is here. His mouth just dropped. I got a hug and got to, well, Philip Bailey came out later.
Yeah.
His voice is insured for millions of dollars, and after the show, he just drinks hot water and lemon and honey.
Wow. I wish I had a voice like that guy.
Oh my.
That falsetto.
Remember we saw him this year? Still
yes.
got it.
Oh, he
Still got it.
Man.
When he did Reasons, I was getting goose pimples. I thought I was getting a hot flash. I was going through some changes.
Wow.
But I used that to get in the back doors too. SOS Band.
Yes.
The Pointer Sisters, I met them. Oh.
You seen James Brown, right?
Yeah, I was sitting, he was at the Silver Rail eating lunch, and I worked across the street at the Eaton Center, and that's what I loved about working downtown. I stayed downtown for probably about 20 years because you always met someone.
Right.
And he's sitting there eating a steak, and I went, hello, Mr. Brown. He's, he talks just like I was saying. So I was like, okay. But my highlight was, you know, I'm a big Purple Heine Prince fan.
Yeah.
So at the end of the concert, I went to the back door of Maple Leaf Gardens, and I'm trying to find out, you know, where because I heard so many rumors of different places he was having his after party. And I couldn't, and so I saw what happened to be one of his security guards. So I went up to him and I said, good evening, sir. I'm visiting from England, and I go to Oxford University, and I'm doing a thesis on the Purple Heine, on the music education of funk and the chords. And the guy goes, oh, he's going to be at the Phoenix. So me, my brother, and my 4 friends headed down to the Phoenix. And so there was another security guard. So the guy goes, it's for invitation only. I said, well, sir, I said, I only have 24 hours. I'm visiting from England. I have my friends here. They brought me. I don't know the city, and I was told, because I'm doing a thesis on the Purple Heine. That's what it's called, my thesis on Prince Rogers Nelson. And I would so like to just talk to him just for 5 minutes, and see if, you know, I could just actually meet him. It would just enhance me for a scholarship in music. The guy, by that time I was walking in, and I'm face to face with Prince. He reaches me just under my neck, and I said hello, and the security guard looks at me, you don't sound pretty English to me. And I said I have wanted to meet you almost my whole the whole of your music career. I said, and he was also living in Toronto. I've seen him drive around the city a few times, but he welcomed us in, gave us something to eat. He was his hands and his skin were like baby's butter. And I found him to be the most charismatic, compassionate individual. Like, he cared about people partying with him. He walked around and talked to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Luther was a little bit stuck up. We did go to his after party, but he didn't show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if stuck up is the word. I don't want to misrepresent him, but...
Right. Where, Diva, tell the fans where fans can find you on social media platform.
Well, right now I'm on Facebook, and I'm working on my blog and my website, and that's urdinehope58/wix.com. So it's under construction, and I hope to be in the new year find other streams of media to enhance and engage with, like Instagram and Twitter, and there's a whole slew of them out there, and yeah.
Good stuff. Diva, tell us about the groundbreaking experience in the USA with sassyradio.com in Florida, Treasure Records, Crown Heights Affair, Fresh Band, The Strikers, Daryl Gibbs, Ellie Blacksmith, Ruben Faison. Things that we never thought would happen are happening at Radio Regent.
Well, I was blown away. We went to see Kojak, and we met Sassy Sue, and we stayed in communication, and she mentioned that she knew Crown Heights Affair, and we're both big Crown Heights Affair fans. So she made that happen. We met Daryl Gibbs, Ellie Blacksmith, Howie Young, Ruben Faison, and it just kind of branched out from there. They're our sister station. We send them shows. We promote each other back and forth, which is really enhanced our presence, but also the way that we produce our shows.
Great. And you happy with the amalgamation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? There might be the Koolbreeze show, or the Diva D show, or the Ear Candy show, or we may be an amalgamation of one universe, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Who knows?
True. Diva, tell us some of the broadcasters at RadioRegent.com that just blows me away in how they present their craft. Let's take, for example, Megan Aga, the Ethiopian diaspora. Within less than 6 months, they had over 500,000 fans.
Yeah.
A lot of radio stations don't even have that for just one show. I find that was mind-blowing.
Well, we're broadcasting in 143 countries.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about Radio Region is diversity.
Yes.
We can be diverse, and we express our ways at different levels, and multiculturalism, which we try to bring to our shows, also enhances it. But having a dialect and a presence in the African community is also it's mind-blowing. And they're starting out, they're enhancing their community, they're getting support from their community, and something that I'd like to see yourself and I have as well, like in the Caribbean community. You know, this year we were highlighting Caribana and Barbados on the waterfront and different things like that. So it's putting your temperature to the ground and then just letting it blow up, get hot.
Yeah. And one of the things that blew me away with another broadcaster is Koolbreeze Orbit. He won an award for broadcasting, AM, FM, internet, and community radio platform, beating these guys out. I think that sort of set a fire, sparked when I came to, and I saw that, and I said, use that energy and help take it to another level.
Well, you know, Paul was on, he came a few years after I did at CKLN. He came from CKLN.
Okay.
So he's built up his community as well. He's a musician,
Right.
and he's a music teacher.
Okay.
So it helps him to communicate to his type, like the musical community. And he has a passion for it. He, like ourselves, like he goes out there and he really tries and really connects with people. He likes to play reggae music of all things. He's in a band called The Members.
Right. There's another guy, TM Providence. Two shows with classic jazz music.
Yeah.
If you want to hear some heavy duty jazz music at on the networks, come to Radio Region with TM Providence, man.
Yeah, and TN started filling in for someone at CKO, and I can't remember the guy's name. And started doing shows there, and then he also worked in the retail, music retail business.
Yes, HMV, I see him.
And I used to work at Sam, so, and he's also a playwright. He does stage left here at Radio Region, and he promotes theater, but his jazz, and he mixes jazz with a little Caribbean flavor inside of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Then we have Crush Groove, Reggie and Hope, your brother with the hip hop and the
he's a DJ.
Yeah,
He doesn't play as a club DJ. He just DJs the music.
Yeah.
He's not a talker, so it's a music show. You know, we're learning to do commentary and different things, myself and yourself. So it lends credence to a different type of broadcasting.
And then we've got Dr. Kokofele, Timbuktu Radio with that African groove. Oh man, and there's commentary.
Yes. And Kokofele, also from CKLN.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's been in the African community for probably about 10-15 years, promoting it, enhancing it, staying in the community.
Wow.
Yeah.
Victor Baines Marshall.
Yeah, the American.
Yes, and then we got the other guy there, Norman Otis Richmond.
All diaspora.
Yeah.
Victor Baines Marshall does Black Addicts in Recovery, where he embraces the 12-step program and talks about recovery and has people that are recovering, that are in the field, the broadcast or artist field, and let them talk about stuff that they're doing.
Right, and then we've got the two sisters. The
Idle Roots.
Oh man,
they also came from CKLN.
Is that right?
Yeah,
they really threw it down.
Oh yeah, and they're big in the reggae community.
Right.
They're I believe Italian.
Yeah.
And they bring a different spin on it. When I first met them, they were doing reggae international, like where the reggae was coming from, and they probably still do it, like Jerusalem reggae, like Italian reggae, French reggae, UK. Like they brought a spin on reggae, and which is really good. Like it's unique, and that's what's great about Radio Region. Like I can never say any Magna Nada. They're unique.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Right.
And Koolbreeze Experience, there's nothing like it. Air Candy is on our way to be nothing like it.
Yes, that's what you can tune into the Air Candy show with Airgasm every Friday from 3 to 5, where you get that smooth jazz and that soul and that neo and that, a bit of gospel, a bit of reggae. You mix it up there on that show. But you also have to tell us about those great clubs we had in Toronto and those plastered around Yonge Street in certain areas. For a lot of people don't know
what
the Colonial and what some of these names they had.
The Canary Cottage,
Wow.
Hagerman's, Upstairs Side Door, the Brown Derby, the Gerard Tavern. There was like Floating World,
Heavens.
There was a couple in the West End, and it just escaped me now because the memories just flood my mind. I mean, great times. And what was special about some of those clubs? It cultivated the way for us to have avenues to have music. Because I used to hold parties, and didn't have. And we were all thinking we were DJs, and we had some like Sunshine and Ebony Sound Crew. Like we secure the place, cook the food or whatever. But it was times that it was like family, like
Yeah.
coming home to a family and just celebrating life.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't worry about gunshots and,
Yes.
and violence, and we were worried about looking good
Yeah.
and getting your groove on.
Yeah.
And you better know how to come with it, because some of you looking at you like,
Really?
can't dance. and those places weren't expensive. It was always usually affordable for people to get in and have a good time.
Yeah.
Now it's like $25, $50, $120 for a booth, and $80 for a bottle, and like
Craziness.
do they pay rent?
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the music is so cut up. Like I was telling you earlier that I remember at Hageman's one Christmas. It was Christmas Eve, and we were partying at Hageman's, and they played Curtis Blow Christmas rap for an hour and 30 minutes, because I timed it, because I used to watch the 12 inches, 11 minutes and 47 seconds, you know, that kind of thing. But we danced to that song and could not get enough of it.
Okay. And on some of the great house parties we had in Toronto.
If
Oh my goodness.
and
Wine, woman, and song.
I remember having one of those tape players that were about this big, and I used to carry this big bag, and I'd be recording something, and people go, "Where'd you get that music?" And I'd be recording it on my little tape deck, because we didn't have manual or things got more compact over the years. But
Yeah.
back in the day, I couldn't bring my ghetto blaster with the
Right.
two
Too
tape.
big.
It was too big,
Too
so
big.
I had a little tape deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And I really miss the days of the great record stores in Toronto. HMV, Sam, A&A's, and
Record World
Sunrise Records.
and Carnival.
Oh, you
That-
worked at Carnival?
Yeah, that was for DJs.
Yeah.
And Monica's up on Eglinton,
Oh,
right?
ma-
Yeah, I mean, we tripped when you wanted that song.
Yeah.
When you wanted that song,
You found it.
you found it.
Yeah,
Well,
you might pay a little bit
and
more.
To be fair, it was like $8 to go to Buffalo, and you didn't need ID. You just crossed the border. I'd go down to Buffalo and buy music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This is quite an experience, having you tell those great stories at Radio Regent. Any shout out to fans, family, and
Well, I'd like
that's
to
out
shout
there?
out my son and daughter, Tamia, and Julian, and Sassy Sue, Miss Sass, who I love the best. You know,
Yes,
you
yes.
know who you are.
Yeah.
Emperor Fuzzy,
Yes.
Noel the Wolverine,
Mhm.
Sassy Sue, Johnny Boy Fraser from Kojak, Keisha Wint,
Yes.
Eddie Bullen,
Wow.
David Breder, Daryl Gibbs,
Right.
and William Anderson, and Tony Mack of Treasure Rocks,
Yes.
and L.A. Blacksmith.
Big time.
And I'd like to shout out the Regent Park community, because I'm down here all the time. Some of the clients that I deal with listen to my shows.
Right.
And to the 143 countries that tune in,
Yeah.
and just give us the love. It's quite rewarding.
Yeah.
And Koolbreeze and I would like to wish you and yours the best of the holidays. Happy holidays to all from Ear Candy and Koolbreeze from the Experience.
Yes,
and
thank you.
wishing God's favor, blessings, and health upon your family and yourselves.
Yes. One more thing I want to touch down, if you're comfortable talking about your experience with fashion industry and modeling and things like
Oh
that.
my God.
People gotta know about you.
Okay, so I started off at a young age. I was a hair model because I had so much hair.
Right.
So as an adult, they didn't show my face; they just
Okay.
used my hair and
Okay.
sometimes my hands, because I had really long kind of hands. And then by 16, 17, I wanted to model, so I did runway for about 7 years.
Right.
And in between that, I did swimsuit and lingerie modeling for manufacturers. I was also had my own fashion stores. They weren't big stores or
Right.
fancy stores
Okay.
in the Spadina area, and I was a buyer and traveled back and forth from Toronto to Montreal. I was an image consultant, makeup artist.
Look at that. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get that information out there, Diva. Any last things you want to plug in before we conclude the broadcast? And
Well, Breeze, I'd like to say thank you
You're
for not only your friendship, but your guidance and direction towards me. It's been a difficult year. I lost my dad and I lost my little dog, and things that are really, really important to me. So in 2018, I hope I'm asking God for restoration and guidance and wisdom
Yes.
and clarity to rebuild my life. And I thank you for being a part of it and just kind of mentoring me and motioning me along. It means so much to me.
thank you.
And the support that you've lent to me and my family. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And to like Sassy Sue Radio and Johnny Boy Fraser and a whole bunch of other people that gave me something to believe in, to hold on to as I move forward.
Right. That is so, Diva. Thank you for taking the time and hanging out with the Koolbreeze and doing this interview. And I was asked by a friend, we had to do this. Let everybody see a window into our personalities.
Yeah, of course.
Because it brings diversity and you get to know people better.
And people think that it's easy just coming and just doing a show like this, whether you just play music or whether you do music and commentary and have artists and things like that. We're passionate about what we do, and we are trying to build a community of like-minded individuals who are passionate about music, but it's also highlighting and showcasing independent artists in a unique and creative way, and spreading our own communities within ourselves. Yeah.
Yes. RadioRegent.com. Tune in every day. Look at the bandwidth and pick your show. Listen to the groove.
And I learned something. We learn something all the time, and we're not perfect. We don't come out there and sometimes I'm so nervous that when I go to talk, the words don't even come out or come out right. But it doesn't stop me from not coming back. It makes me want to do better.
Of course.
And do more.
Exactly. You're just Radio Regent is a great ecosystem for culture and diversity and inclusiveness and all that kind of stuff. And it makes us so unique. We stand out from the pack with our quality of interviews, our quality of music, and the different culture we have on the broadcast system. It's just unbelievable. People are tuning in all over the world.
And we're so generic and grassroots.
And people like that organic feel when they come to. I remember my first interview I had with Eddie Bullen, and he said to me over the air, Breeze, I hope I get invited back. Louis Saldana, he said on the air, I hope I get invited back. David Rudder, he loves this place because it's rich, it's real. And the way we put it down, it's unbelievable.
And that just makes me feel like I have star quality. That I've almost surpassed my dreams, because I would like to write a book one day. And from I was about 12 or 13, I've had this dream about writing a book called Not Only in America, and it spans not just my persona, but the music, the places, and it's the journey. You know.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, because the mountains up there, and I keep trying to go up there, but you got to yield, you got to stop, change your speed limit. There's all kinds of things, but if we can just be here and give it what we got, like, I've done my job.
Yes,
I've done it.
And Diva, where would you like to see a Radio Regent in 2018?
Well, I hope that as a radio station, as an entity, that we could raise money and just kind of clean up the station and do some stuff, because we're not out there begging for money, but we do need it. Like, we need new equipment,
yes,
new
we do.
headphones,
mixing board, computers.
Yeah, I have some
microphones.
volunteers from the community that maybe can light a path under social media or video editing or audio engineering. We have the equipment, but and just have workshops where we can learn, or have the artists themselves teach us how to do stuff. Like how. I mean, it's a community, right? That's what we're building.
Yes.
The foundation has started.
Yes, Diva. It's an honor and a pleasure having you on my show and on the Koolbreeze Experience. And hopefully next year we do another one when we have a lot more information.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is not just a test pilot. No. This is a testimony.
Yes.
Breeze, I have nothing but love for you, and it grows, the respect, and I'm learning so much. I'm not as quick as you, and sometimes I procrastinate a little bit. I know that, and I got to believe more in myself. Took a couple of hits, like I said.
Right.
But keep up the good work, and keep believing in yourself, and keep believing that artists and people are worth it.
Yes.
Like we believe.
Caring.
Yes.
And that this helped propelled us to being #1 for independent artists.
Yeah, and everybody's using it. We gotta find a new line, and I know you will.
I've got the lines, right?
You did. That's what I'm saying, right? Like I said, I haven't heard it yet, but I know it's in the works.
Yeah, because seeing you #1, and when you see your portfolio, it doesn't add up to. People read into this. Oh, these, you did 5 interviews off on the field per year. You look at the other networks and they don't. Wow, they have this stuff on YouTube. These guys are serious, and I just love it down here, and we hope to grow and build this thing bigger, better, and so unique and dynamic.
Oh, I know we will. And I think for me, I have to wrap my head around the whole thing, the production, and just having that confidence to go out there, that confidence that you can do this, and then how to channel that into social media or music or whatever.
Yeah, and I thank you for your inspiration, for help pushing me, that driving force. I used to go up home at nights, 2, 3 in the morning, swinging on an office chair in my studio with a bottle of beer, doing research, cataloging music, kind of want to put that quality question through those interviews. And I looked at all the masters, and it's a lot of work. I worked so hard, and it is paying off.
Yes, it is.
It's paying off on my show.
And I saw it. Like, we would be on the phone for like 3-4 hours talking music. First, we talk about our family and give and honor and glory to God, always first in our house. But when we talked about music, you and I could stay on the phone for 8 hours and talk about music and places we've been and food or whatever that goes around it. And it came to us.
Right.
We were never without it. And movies, like and books, we have a thing. Like, we're born the same day, so it's a big thing.
It's huge.
Yeah,
but Diva, again, thanks for your pleasure being on the show and telling those great stories and insights and analysis. And I know the guys, the artists, they're gonna love this, because they got so fired up when I told them Daryl Gibbs, Jerome Tucker, and a lot of Mike Cedric. These guys were fired. Oh, I can't wait!
Shout out to Jerome and Mike Cedric and like the list is long. Rich Brown.
Oh man.
Brown Man Ali. Whoever you are that came to Radio Region. Eddie Bullen. Quincy.
Yes. Thank you so
Liberty
much.
Silver.
Yes.
It's going to be a good year, and once I understand what I'm doing with these equipments,
you don't worry.
I'm going to have my interviews as well. And Breeze, thank you for allowing me into your space on the Koolbreeze Experience. This is your girl, Diva D.
Yes.
The music machine, the lean machine, the funk machine, the safe cracker with 5,000 pieces of funk in the vault.
Yes.
The Cool Breeze.
Oh yeah.
Got it?
Let's get back to some music, baby.
Mm-hmm.